Wings are clipped. Clipped means they are chopped off, they are cut off, and feet are tied. She starts the poem with the word free bird, and she tells us that she is talking about the free bird and the other bird that is caged here. It is very much confined to the narrow cage only. It has a very restricted area to move around. The bars of rage, all that is made up of anger. It wants to just break it and go out of it. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the poems prescribed by University of Mysuru for 2nd Sem B.Ca. We are going to understand about the caged bird today. Yes, Maya Angelou is the poetess who has written this poem, The Caged Bird. So let us see what is there in today's session. In today's session, we are going to understand a little about the poet. So let me just introduce about the poet to you. Then we'll understand the theme. We'll next move on to the summary along with the literary devices that are used in this poem. This is a wonderful poem, children, so it is very interesting also. So let us start with the introduction of the poetess. So she is Maya Angelou, and she was an American poet. She was very famous autobiographer. She was an activist, social activist also. She was a wonderful poetess also. She wrote many stories. She used to tell stories also. She was a wonderful storyteller too. Angelou was awarded the National Medal of Arts by the then President Bill Clinton. So she was writing during the time of Bill Clinton and Obama too. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom because she propagated freedom of black people. So she has been awarded the Presidential Medal, and she has also been awarded the highest civilian award. So that is in US by the President Barack Obama. So you can understand what a great poetess she was. So in this poem also she talks about freedom. She propagates freedom of black people. She is against the racial discrimination that is shown in the US. So let us begin with the theme of this poem. The predominant theme of this poem is freedom. As I told, you can understand by the title of the poem itself, The Caged Bird. So the poetess is talking about something which is related to freedom, because caged bird, you talk something about freedom, right? So that is not free, that bird is not free. So she is relating that to something else. So the predominant theme means the theme that exists in this poem is freedom basically. The first line depicts this by introducing the free bird. So she starts the poem with the word free bird, and she tells us that she is talking about the free bird and the other bird that is caged here. Okay. So then the theme of oppression means that discrimination that was being practiced in the society of US is being used over here as one of the themes. The themes of oppression is used as a foil to the theme of freedom. So that is, theme of freedom exists and the theme of oppression is used to cover that. So this is what the poetess is exhibiting in this poem. So theme of freedom is actually subtle, and theme of oppression is actually shown outside to the readers. So let us see what is there in the poem. Let us begin with the first stanza of the poem. So I want you to concentrate on the rhyme scheme also of this poem, because this is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme here. So one or two words rhyme, but you cannot consider that as the rhyme scheme of the poem, because here and there only they rhyme. Ends, raise, so like that, they hardly rhyme. So you need not have to consider that as a rhyme scheme of the poem. So let us begin with the first stanza. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. So in this stanza, it is evident that the poet is talking about the free bird. So here the poetess is comparing a free bird and the cage bird. So free bird here is the starting word of the stanza. So you can understand that she is talking about a bird that is free here, and again she goes on comparing it to a caged bird. So a free bird leaps on the back of the wind. She is talking about the bird that is free, what and all that bird experiences. So she is talking about the experience of the bird over here. A free bird leaps, so it is free to jump, it is free to fly anywhere on the back of the wind. So as the wind blows, the bird also flies. It is very free to fly over there, then floats downstream. So even when the stream is flowing downwards, so there also it just flies downstream, and till the current ends, till where it flows, till there it just flies there. So that means she is talking about how free that bird is, how free that bird can be experiencing that whole nature. So she is talking about that. Till the current ends, till where you can see that water, till there also it is able to fly. That is, the free bird is able to fly and dips his wing. So he is able to, that bird is able to dip its wing also. It is able to experience the water also. It is experiencing the wind, it is experiencing the water, it is seeing the current, it is watching that water flow downstream. So like this, it has various experiences in it, and it dips his wing in the orange sun rays. So it is able to experience the rays of the sun also. Okay, so it when the rays of sun, that is the orange rays of sun, fall on it and dares to claim the sky. So this free bird behaves like he is the king of the sky. That means the whole sky belongs to itself. So it is completely free. There is no restricted area for it to fly. The whole nature, it is its. So it just flies near the water, behind the wind, then it flies to the sky, it experiences the air, water, then it also experiences the sunlight. So everything the free bird is ready to experience, is able to experience. So this is in the first stanza. Hope you know the meaning of downstream. Downstream is the water that is flowing downwards. So that is downstream. And yeah, there is no other new word over here. Dares, who is dare enough, means it is not scared at all. It is so confident enough to claim the sky. So this is in the first stanza. We'll move on to the next stanza. But a bird that stalks. So here the poetess is comparing the free bird to another bird which is caged. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. Now you can relate this to people. So the free bird is something like a person who is free in the society. So here, since the poetess is talking about the US society, we can consider that the racial discrimination that was being practiced during that time, that is between the black and the white, so that is what the poetess is talking about. So in the first stanza, we could see she's talking about the white people who are very much free, they don't have any restrictions, they move around very freely. Whereas here, she compares the caged bird to the black people here. Fine. So here, but a bird that stalks down his narrow cage. So this bird is in the narrow cage. It is not able to do anything. It is confined to this narrow cage. So it is stalking down to the narrow cage. So it is very much confined to the narrow cage only. It has a very restricted area to move around. So let us see whether it is able to move or not. Can, seldom, seldom means not always, very rarely. So seldom, the meaning of this word is rarely. Seldom see through his bars of rage. So that the bars that are there in the cage, so that is being compared to the bars of rage. So what is bars of rage? These people who are caged, they'll become very arrogant. Means they are not able to move around freely. They are not able to express themselves properly. Whatever they are feeling, they are not able to express their feelings properly. That's why they are raging in anger. They are just suppressing their anger. That is what the poetess is telling here. So is seldom able to see his bar, that is through the bars of rage. Means it is not able to go outside, it is not able to see outside the cage at all. What is there? What is restricted? Not only it has a restricted area to move around, it also has the restricted area of the sight also. It is not able to see everywhere properly. So it is stationary, it is the cage also doesn't move here and there. So the bird is also not able to move here and there. It can only see few things that are around it. So here the poetess is talking about the things which the bird can see outside the cage. His wings are clipped. Clipped means cut. Fine. You clip your nail means you just use that nail cutter and you just clip it. Fine. You trim your nails, you clip your nails means you don't cut your nails. Fine. You should not use the word cutting the nails. You need to use clipping the nails or trimming the nails. So here wings are clipped. Clipped means they are chopped off, they are cut off, and feet are tied. So it is not able to move around at all. Feet are tied, so it is not able to go around anywhere. First of all, it's a cage. Upon that, feet are tied. So it is restricted upon restriction. So this is what is happening here. So he opens his throat to sing. It cannot see, it cannot move, it cannot fly. So what else should it do? It has to reach to the outside world. So what does it do? It starts singing, opens his throat to sing. It starts singing there so that its voice reaches the outside world. The people who have kept it restricted, who have caged it, are able to clip the wings. They are able to tie the feet only, but they are not able to restrict the bird from singing. So that is what it does. It opens, it uses whatever capacity it has and it starts singing. The throat is open for singing now. Next, what happens when it starts singing? The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Now it starts singing, right? The free bird is able to move around, so it is able to experience everything. But what about the caged bird? It is not able to experience whatever the free bird is experiencing. So what does it do? It starts singing about freedom. So free bird knows everything, whatever is there around it, whereas the caged bird does not know what is outside it. So it starts singing about the freedom. It starts singing about the things unknown to it. Okay, so here the caged bird sings with a fearful trill, means the voice, it is very fearful, means it is scared, and then only it opens its throat to sing. Yes, the people who have chopped the wings and tied the feet have kept this bird in a kind of fear. So here when it opens its throat to sing, it is actually very scared of things unknown. So it is scared of the things that are unknown to it. It wants to know whatever is there in the nature, but it is not able to know because the bird is not free at all. So he is singing about that. He is singing about the unknown things that are there in the nature regarding this caged bird. But longed for still, and his tune is heard. But it is longing to go and experience all that in the nature. And what happens now? So when it starts singing, this voice is actually heard. So where is it heard? It sings so loudly about freedom that its voice is actually heard on the distant hill. There is a hill in a distant place, and there this voice is heard. The sound of this caged bird is heard. So it is singing so loudly. That means it has suppressed all its feelings, and the voice is coming out of that suppressed feelings. So that is very loud. That means black people who are raising their voice, though they are like a caged bird, their voice can reach to the outside world. So this way they start protesting. That is how this caged bird also protests. So this can be compared to that. So on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. So when it starts singing of freedom, the voice can be heard in the distant hill. Means the caged bird, though it is restricted, it can reach out to far off places using its voice. So that is what is the poetess is talking about in this stanza. Then the free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees. Here the poetess is talking about what the free bird is experiencing. Fine. So the free bird is able to talk about something it knows, whereas the caged bird is talking about something it doesn't know. So obviously the voice will be very high, because if you are scared of something, you start screaming, or you start raising your voice. Till you know what it is, your voice will be so high. Like, I'm not talking about the literal voice, but the way you express it. So because of that fears, you express something and that will be too loud. So just imagine about the protests and all that happened in our country also. So freedom was not there and the protest was huge. So that could reach the whole world. So the same thing is to be compared over here also. The free bird is only thinking about another breeze. Fine. So here free bird can talk about something, can think about something which is similar to that. But caged bird can think about only that which it doesn't know. Fine. So the free bird talks only about something it knows. The knowledge is confined actually. But caged bird is actually reaching the distant hills. It wants to know things in such a way that the things which it knows actually sets it free. So that is what is the mentality of this poetess here. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. So here he thinks of another breeze. So this free bird is going on occupying more and more skies, means more and more space. It is trying to fly higher and higher. So here it thinks of another breeze. And the trade winds means the winds that are blowing in between the trees, the sighing trees. So the poetess is talking about the distant hill wherein there are sighing trees listening to the voice of this caged bird, and in between that there are winds that are blowing. Okay, so wind that is blowing, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn. So this is the scenario over here. There are fat worms, and also the poetess is describing the nature here. So there are fat worms that are waiting for a dawn bright lawn. So on the lawn there are small worms, and the free bird is actually flying over there. The free bird is thinking about such a scenario there, and he names the sky his own. And again, that place where he is flying newly, so that place is also his own. He claims that place also to be his own. So for a free bird, it is like this place, and similar to that there is another place, similar to that there is another place. But the caged bird is unknown, like it doesn't know what things are there. So it is actually waiting for something change to happen there. Fine. So here the poetess is talking about the free bird that dreams of the same things which he has already experienced. But what does a caged bird do? A caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. So now all the dreams that the caged bird had, it is actually suppressed. It is all shattered. So he stands on the grave of dreams. All the dreams are dead now. That is regarding the caged bird. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. So he's screaming, the bird is singing now. It has opened its throat to sing. That is nothing but a nightmare scream. It is scared of something. That's why it is screaming so loudly. It doesn't know what and all it's going to experience. So it is shouting very loudly. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. So it is being suppressed of these dreams and the like whatever it wanted to experience, that is a freedom and all. So everything is stopped. The wings are clipped again. She is repeating the same thing. Why is the bird able to shout so loudly? Why is the bird able to sing so loudly? She is talking here. And the wings are clipped and the feet are tied, and that's why he opens his throat to sing. Again, here she repeats the sentences. So this is nothing but anaphora, the repetition of sentences, that is a figure of speech. So here the bird starts singing so loudly because the free bird is experiencing something which is already experienced by it. It is free now, it is happy also. But here this bird, the caged bird, sings because of the grave of the dreams. So whatever dreams it had, everything is suppressed. Because of that, it starts singing. It sings out of pain. That's why it is able to reach distant places. And she repeats the same third stanza again. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. So this has the same meaning. It has more emphasis now because the stanza before this we have spoken about the grave of dreams. Means all the dreams shattered, all the dreams suppressed, and that's why now it is heard in the distant hill. The voice of this caged bird is heard in the distant hill. So this is the summary of this poem, The Caged Bird. Let us have a look at the literary devices that are used over here. Few only I have listed over here because assonance is here, consonants, anaphora and all I just told you orally. So you can just make a note of it whenever you read the poem. So metaphor, dares to claim the sky and names the sky his own. These are the metaphors because of that entitlement of the speaker ascribes to the free bird as it flies. The entitlement means as it flies, it dares to claim the sky. Like he is very brave enough to claim the sky as its own or to name the sky his own. So that is a comparison how brave that bird is. Then bars of rage is actually a metaphor. The poetess uses this for that anger that is being expressed by the black people. Fine. The bars of rage, all that is made up of anger. It wants to just break it and go out of it. So bars of rage is an example of metaphor here. Then we see alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of same sound in the beginning of the word. So here seldom, see through. So sir sound is repeated. The fat worms waiting. So this is also a repetition, and his shadow shouts. This sh sound is repeated. So it is in the beginning of the word only, and hence this is an example of alliteration. Okay. So next we move on to assonance. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds in the middle of the words. A, E, I, O, U, the vowels and the sounds that are produced by them, they have to be repeated in the middle of the word. So on a dawn, bright lawn. So a sound is repeated. A sound which is made by A. Fine. It need not have to be only A there. The words, the letters that are there need not be vowels only, but the sound that is produced. Okay, it can be a combination of two letters, but the sounds that are produced should be vowel sounds only. Then here we have dips his. So I sound, E sound is repeated here. Current ends. A sound is repeated because of the repetition of the letter E. Fine. So these are few of the literary devices that are listed here. So when we come to the physical class, we'll just discuss more about this literary devices. Hope this session was useful to you, and this was actually a wonderful poem. I want you to read this poem, and there are various tunes also that are put for this poem. So if at all you get to listen to any, I would be very happy if you listen to that, because you listen to songs and that remains in your memory for a longer time. Fine. Hope this session was useful to you children. Keep learning. Let us meet again in another more interesting topic. So let us meet again in one more poem prescribed by University of Mysuru in your syllabus. Thank you for your time. Keep learning. Take care of yourself. See you soon. Bye-bye.